No Clark on the court, 5 wins anyway. Seattle just felt the shockwave. 7 games ago, the Indiana Fever looked one tweaked groin away from a tailspin. Instead, they just marched through the Pacific Northwest and left Climate Pledge Arena carrying their longest winning streak in 10 years. They did it without the rookie who sells out every road building, draws a second TV truck, and gets entire upper bowls opened for walk-ups. That's already newsworthy. The twist is how many different players turned that potential crisis into a launch pad. By the time the final horn hit, Indiana stood alone in 5th place, 1.5 games from the league's silver seat, and more dangerous than at any moment since the Tamika Catchings era. This wasn't a sleepy mid-season stop. Seattle entered tied with Indiana at 16-12, wedged into the league's snarled middle tier where every possession reshapes the bracket. A brutal West Coast swing stretched ahead of the Fever. Las Vegas in altitude-level pace, Phoenix with all the elbows in Arizona, Minnesota built on half-court discipline. Lose the opener and the road threatens to turn a top-4 dream into a play-in scramble. Coach Stephanie White felt it. Morning shoot-around ended with the same line delivered 3 different ways. Be where our feet are. Translation: treat this like a Game 5, because the math in late August doesn't allow casual quarters. The message landed instantly. Opening possession. Aaliyah Boston hedged a high pick-and-roll so hard the ball handler retreated. Lexi Hull timed a fingertip deflection. The loose ball pinged to Ari McDonald, who beat everyone in sneakers to the other rim. 2 points in 6 seconds. Bench up at once. Caitlin Clark, still in warm-ups, leaned over the scorer's table, hollering rotations between claps. Seattle looked half-stuck in warm-up mode. Indiana looked caffeinated. Defense framed everything. When the Storm tried early horn sets, Indiana crowded the elbows, top-locked cutters, and forced swing passes that arrived 2 beats late. The stop-to-run machine churned out tempo, exactly what White wanted. Then came the shooting drought. Indiana opened 0 for 7 from deep, the sort of stumble that can freeze a road group. Sophie Cunningham refused the narrative. Slide to the left corner, plant, catch, fire, net. Next trip, step off a pin down, same result, louder net. By her 3rd triple, she'd yanked Seattle's weak side wing 2 full steps wider, opening slip cuts and high-low angles Indiana never gets if the corner isn't lethal. Cunningham closed with 17 points on 6 shots, 4 of 5 from 3 and a perfect 1-for-1 inside the arc plus a pair of free throws. During July, she has shot nearly 50% beyond 23'9", but pressure does funny things to averages. It didn't ruffle her form. Teammates call her firecracker because she's quiet until ignition, then the whole gym jumps. This night she was everything loud. While corners detonated, the paint hosted a lesson in footwork and perseverance. Aaliyah Boston recorded her 6th straight double-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds, sliding past Clark's club record of 5. Statistics understate the command. 3rd quarter, Boston caught on the right block, sensed a dig coming, spun baseline into a short hook off glass. Next sequence, she sprint-sealed a late switch, took a lob and hammered a 2-hander before help rotated. The subtler milestone, she became the fastest center in WNBA history to 100 assists in a season. That line screams role evolution. Boston arrived as a low-post bruiser at South Carolina, spent her rookie pro year toggling screen and dive packages next to Clark, and now, necessity's child, runs a pinch post hub. Seattle tried single coverage to smother shooters. She scored. They sent a soft double. She lasered opposite wing darts that travel in coach clip reels all week. Her best burst came early 4th, 9 consecutive Fever points in 94 seconds, a fading 10-footer, a shovel off a broken play, a putback through contact, flex included. Those 9 pushed the lead back to 9, turned the arena into a library, and let Indiana exhale. Every title blueprint demands a veteran who feels the moment's pulse and never misses a chance to steady hands. Natasha Howard did more. She lodged herself in the record book next to Tamika Catchings. Her line, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists on 10 of 12 shooting, 83%. Made her only the 2nd Fever player ever to post 25-5 on 80+%. Catchings did it in 2012. Howard just gave the stat another date. But the intangible mattered just as loudly. Mid-3rd, Seattle trimmed an 11-point gap to 6, crowd finally alive. Howard backcut behind a lazy topside denial, caught a zip from McDonald, absorbed contact mid-air, finished plus the whistle. She popped up slapping the floor, yelling, "Next stop's ours!" 2 plays later, she pocket passed to Boston for a lay-in, then made a stunt and recover rotation that forced a traveling violation. Score swung back to double digits. Storm shoulders slouched. Composed knights rarely stay tidy. With 5:42 remaining, Indiana led 71-59. Over the next 140 seconds, Seattle ripped an 11-0 run. Steals into layups, crowd volume shoveled in. Suddenly, it was 71-70, huddle time. The crisis? Indiana's closer, Kelsey Mitchell, was mired in a nightmare. 3 for 16, 0 for 8 deep. Out of timeout, she took a dribble handoff from Howard, refused the screen, saw a sliver of lane shade left, and attacked. Her left-hand layup kissed high glass, rolled in, plus harm on the swipe. 3-point cushion. Next possession she probed, drew a stunt, flipped a lob. Boston powered through a late contest. 5 assists, 2 steals, more calm than the box score will ever confess. Great scorers who thrive on rhythm must discover influence when rhythm hides. Mitchell used gravity, passing, and one slice of nerve at the right second. Ball game. How did a Clarkless roster thrive? By designing balance at gunpoint. White gutted the Clark-centric playbook and installed horn sets that treat Boston as a decision tree. She moved McDonald into early drag actions to weaponize speed before defenses plant heels. Cunningham and new arrival Chloe Bibby are told, stay corner deep until the defense blinks, then cut or fire. On defense, Indiana simplified. Switch 1 through 3 automatically, switch then peel with the 4, keep Boston in drop but shrink the nail so help arrives by committee. After made baskets, cue firecracker triples. The Fever flows into a 2-3 matchup zone for 1 trip to kill rhythm, then reverts. It's barely in the scouting report and burns 14 seconds. White labeled Clark's absence a blessing in disguise. Fans winced until results spoke. Depth minutes became trust minutes, and trust minutes became wins. Picture everything above, then add a logo sniper defenders must face at 28 feet. That's the near future. Clark's return drags 1 perimeter defender 2 paces higher on every set, which turns Boston Seals from strong into unfair. It converts Cunningham's corner into a vacated practice rack. Mitchell's drives start against tilted stances, not squared chests. Opponents must decide, show 2 at Clark, and live with 4-on-3 rotations featuring a passer center and 3 40% catch-shoot options, or play honest and risk 30-foot mortar shells. Coaches tonight are building slide decks titled, Who Do We Leave? No answer feels good. Friday in Vegas brings wind sprint basketball. If the Fever's defensive shell survives the first 6 minutes intact, they'll force the Aces into half court more than expected. 2 days later, Phoenix offers bruises and scoreboard pace. Minnesota then tests ball security with switch-heavy precision. Indiana doesn't have to sweep. They must export habits, deny first reads, attack weak side tags, trust third side swing spacing, split the trip and stay top 4. Steal 3 and league chatter turns to dark horse title noise. Drop all, the cushion evaporates. That's why White talks edges. The difference in late August is a single possession per night. Indiana didn't borrow belief from borrowed hype. They manufactured it mile by mile while the headliner wore street clothes. They uncovered a firecracker who detonates at corner depth, a rock who now quarterbacks the half court, a veteran whose calm echoes catchings, and a closer who finds ways to win even when the rim laughs. They learned a superstar absence can expose entire rosters to growth light they didn't know they needed. So next week, when Clark jogs to the scorer's table, some assistant coach will gesture and whisper, tag the corner, cheat the helper, shade the middle. The film from Seattle replies, any choice can be fatal. Pick your poison. Indiana serves it with pace. The Fever didn't merely survive July, they evolved through it. 5 straight wins confirm the season's deepest chapters remain unwritten, and the scariest pages will star a roster that tasted pressure, adapted, and started to like the flavor. Champions aren't sculpted by single brilliance. They're carved from collective upgrades stacked on sweat. Indiana just proved it. Now ask yourself the only question that matters when Clark rejoins a team already on fire. Whose night are you ready to sacrifice? Whoever you name, the scoreboard might disagree. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video. Thanks.